I still believe the Oklahoma City Thunder will beat the San Antonio Spurs in 7 games in this Western Conference final. But at this moment, 10 minutes after the end of Game 1 in Oklahoma City, I'm not sure how they're going to win in 7 games, because this was just wrong. I'm devastated. I'm hoarse from yelling at my television. I'm drained. Probably not as much as Alex Caruso, but I'm drained. And I'm reeling because it was such a weird night for the Thunder. They got off to such a slow start at the first of the game, and they roared back. And there was a moment when I thought they were going to blow the Spurs off the floor. And then they took the foot off the gas. And then they come out in the second quarter. It's 27-all. Here we go. And they just drift through the second quarter, and they're down whatever it was, 7.5. Lucky to be that. There were times in the third quarter I thought they were going to get blown out at home. And they would surge, and then San Antonio would reestablish control, if not dominance. And then they did what the Thunder have done for 2 years. They started to make plays and shots and steals, smoke you with POT, points off turnovers. I mean, they turned over Stephon Castle 11 times. He turned the ball over 11 times tonight, and that's actually what kept us in the game. They had 21 total turnovers. That kept us in the game. And yet, what just ripped my guts out was watching the Thunder have opportunity after opportunity after opportunity down the stretch of regulation and the first overtime to win the freaking game. To just stand on Game 1 business at home. Do what you do, make the shot. Obviously, SGA finally made one drive shot, right-handed layup from the left side, to tie the game. Send it to overtime. But the plays that just confounded me. SGA's got a breakaway. And the truth was, it's just, he's the clutch player of the year. You just have to convert it. And Caruso's coming hard on the left wing. And all you have to do is just bounce it and leave it on the floor for him to just fly in and dunk it. And he goes up and blows the layup. It was hotly contested. And SGA had several late shots at the rim that he forced and blew. Obviously, not only Victor has his number, but so does Castle, so does Vassell, so does everybody else who guarded him. And nobody guards SGA better than the San Antonio Spurs. And overall, SGA, overall, given the fact he just won his second straight MVP, I give SGA for this game an SGF. No, seriously, an F. Given how great he is, it's an F. He only had 4 turnovers, but they seemed like 44 because they came at such bad moments late. Overtime. Like, what are you doing, man? What's wrong with you? And yet, I tweeted before the game, this was a great spot for the Spurs, even though they didn't have their point guard, De'Aaron Fox. And that's what's horrifying the most, because D. Fox isn't going to turn it over 11 times. It forced Stephon Castle into a playmaking role that he doesn't usually have to completely fill. Now what? Now what? Now what? I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for Victor Wembanyama because he wound up in 2 overtimes with 41 points and worse, 24 rebounds. And even worse, the Oklahoma City Thunder at home got bullied on the backboard 61-40. You just can't, as Pat Riley once famously, infamously said, no rebounds, no rings. You can't do that. You can't, Chet. He's not Wemby. I've said it. He's a very good Chet, and he did have one great late block on Wemby that saved an overtime. But you got to play more physically than that. You got to play bigger than that, even though you're 7, whatever you are, 1. The other guy's 7'6". And the other guy's starting to play, as I always screamed at him to play, with physicality. There were times tonight when he demanded the ball in the paint and he spun and attacked and either got to the free throw line and made his free throws because he made them all night long and he missed 1 for the game, or he dunked it, or he made it up off the glass. He played harder than the Thunder played. That one guy, and I said I tweeted before the game, it's a great spot for the Spurs because the Thunder had been off for, what was it, like 9 days, I guess you could count. 9 days, and J-Dub was trying to come back and work his way back into the flow. And it's just hard because you've been playing with A.J. Mitchell, who seemed completely out of sync the whole night. And yet, Dub, he started to get his legs underneath him. And yet, now, 3 more opportunities, speaking of A.J. Mitchell, there's a point in the first overtime when AJ on a breakaway, it was a big ball shot, man. He pulls up on a breakaway and shoots a 3 and missed it pretty badly. It's the kind of shot we've seen SGA pull up and make. We've seen all of them pull up. I don't hate it. I just hate that it didn't go in because it wasn't your night. You weren't making anything. And you hadn't shot it very much. And now you're going to try to do that. If the ball goes in, I'm pretty sure the Thunder are going to win the game. I'm hoarse from screaming. I really am hoarse. I'm going to have a hellacious time tomorrow on the Arena NBA show. I'll be there 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern. I'm going to wear my Thunder hat tomorrow just to represent, just to hang tough. But you pull up and miss a 3. It's okay. So you were barely in the rotation last year, and you take the 3 that could change the tide of the whole series and year, and you miss it. And then back to back into first overtime, Dub takes 2 shots. The first one was completely, utterly forced. You got to step into the paint, and then they're all afraid of Victor, obviously, looming. And he shot this sort of cliff-hanging, fall-down, I don't know what it was, jumper. I think it missed everything long and hit the backboard long, touched no iron. Basically an air ball. And then at the very end of the first overtime, he gets a shot. He didn't have his feet set, didn't get great control of the basketball, and tried a 3. It's going to win the game. It's an opportunity. You've got all these opportunities. You got to make one of them. You just have to make one. That's how close this was. And the other reason that the Spurs were even in this game was obviously Alex Caruso, as they used to call him out here in L.A. when he was a Laker, the Caruso Show. And it was the Caruso Show tonight. I mean, think about this. Alex Caruso himself hit 8 of 14 threes. Well, how many times from here on out is that going to happen? None. Trust me. He is such a great off-the-bench player. One of the all-time greats off the bench in the history of the league as an igniter, as a playmaker on both ends of the floor. He played so big tonight. Had a career high playoff 31. I lost track. I think it might be his career high for any time. 11 of 19 from the floor, but 8 of 14 from 3. That's just incredible. And the Thunder shot it well enough. They got off to a horrendous slow start, but 17 of 45 from 3. Okay, that'll work. If you can do that, you got a shot. But I assume De'Aaron Fox is going to come back at some point. I don't know where or how he turned his ankle, but there it was. And yet, in the end, the truth is that in Game 3, now the Thunder find themselves at home on the brink of disaster, of getting swept. If Wemby comes out and goes alien on them again, and remember, the last reason this was a great spot for the Spurs is Wemby just got his MVPs back-to-back, and Wemby wanted it badly and thought he deserved it. And that's what happened tonight. He had all the inspiration on his side. All the motivation was on his side. And he said, okay, Mr. MVP, watch this. And he was obviously the MVP of this game, and he's on his way to being the MVP of the conference finals, unless SGA says, okay, that's enough. He is capable, as the clutch player of the year, of saying that's enough. And he is going to have to come up bigger than Wemby in Game 2 at home Wednesday night. Or, if they're down 0-2 going to San Antonio, I don't like their chances, obviously. So now, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the 2026 Oklahoma City Thunder, it is do or die in Game 2 at home. And I believe they will win it. And I frankly believe they'll win it convincingly. And I can't give you one reason why. I can't. As I sit here right now, I am wiped out. And I don't like much of what I just saw. Because I can't tell you that Alex Caruso is going to make 8 more threes on Wednesday night. And I can't tell you that Steph Castle is going to get turned over 11 times on Wednesday night. So you're on death watch now. You got 48 hours to figure this back out. Or SGA has 48 hours to look in the mirror and say, you know what? They have owned me all year, and they're not going to do it this time. Not in my house, not in a Game 2 for all the marbles. That's what's going to have to happen. And I'm going to remind you, in the first 3 games that the Spurs beat the Thunder this year, SGA went a combined 3 of 17 from 3 in those games. 3 of 17. He went 1 of 7, 1 of 4, 1 of 6. So tonight he went 2 of 7. And the 2 he made seemed huge to me. But it was just 2 of 7. And they just did such a great job. They're just daring somebody else to beat them. And Caruso put the Thunder in position to win the basketball game. It's simple as that. He did that. By the way, Dylan Harper is really good. I thought the matchup with AJ, I thought AJ might have a chance to outplay Dylan Harper. He did not. Dylan Harper kept getting to the rim, making shots that SGA couldn't make, and scored 24. Took up the slack beautifully. I don't know. I see not great hope here, except I just believe in the Thunder's character. That's all I do. I believe in their character. I believe in their psyche. I believe in their will. I believe in their depth. I believe in their talent. And I believe in their back-to-back MVP leader. That's what I believe. And I'm going to stick with it. But I'll sit right here on Wednesday night and tell you it's over if the Thunder can't figure out a way to win the basketball game against the 7'7" guy. who just gets better by the dribble. He gets more physical. He gets more ambidextrous. His left hand is just sensational. And obviously, I haven't yet mentioned the shot of the night, the shot heard around the world, which was Wemby pulling up from 30 feet. Felt logo-ish. It was off a little to the side from the logo, but he just pulled up on a semi-break and just said, I got this, and tied the game and sent it to the second overtime. And then once again, the Spurs just took over. They took over every, first quarter, first overtime, second overtime. They just took it over. And it was like the Thunder kept saying, are we there yet? You guys going to stop now? You going to quit now? No, they're not going to quit. And so they just reasserted and reestablished command. And the second overtime, they just took it over. Wemby took it over. He didn't run out of gas. He's had a hard time staying energized for full games. And not tonight. He arrived. That was huge. That was all-time impressive. It was an instant classic, unless you believe in these guys and root for these guys. And it was an instant classic with an extremely forgettable finish. I don't have a fix. I don't have a solution. I just believe in the Thunder, and I believed in them all year. And yet, right now, it feels like wall to wall, the Spurs just have their number. The Spurs just believe they can beat the Thunder, and the Thunder, with opportunities down the stretch galore, just didn't believe that one of those shots would be converted or made to win the basketball game. It's just as simple as that. And at some point on Wednesday night, the clutch player of the year is going to have to be the clutch player of the game.